Hello everyone, this is Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I'm here this week with another technique that I want to be showing you. It's called Bokeh Stamping, and I'll get to that in just a second, but first I want to just invite you to hit the subscribe button, and that way you'll be notified weekly when I do my videos, and also give me a thumbs up if you would, and share my video. I'd like to be able to share the techniques with as many people as possible. Also, I have a Facebook group called Stamp Crazy VIP where I download or upload the directions for all of the techniques that I do, and you can get them in PDF form there. And last but not least, I would like to join anybody that does not have a demonstrator, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'd like to be able to help you with that, whether you want to be a customer or if you think you might want to sell Stampin' Up! Right now. They have a great offer where you get your kit. It's $99. You get $125 worth of product. Plus, you can pick any bundle out of the new catalog, which actually would save you another up to $60. So it's a great deal. You can contact me through Facebook, or my email address is ritaholmes0611@gmail.com, which you can also get me there or on my Stampin' Up website. So without any other things to really talk about right now, I'm going to go ahead and get started with my technique, which is called Bokeh Stamping. And the reason I am doing this technique this week is because I was cleaning in my craft room and I came across some templates I had made years ago to do the Bokeh Stamping. And I thought, well, I think I'll just go ahead and share that this week. So I just want to let you know that I do the PDFs, and here's what it looks like. I just bent this one all up. But it gives you the technique I'm doing, the supplies I used, how I did it, and how I did the card that you're going to see today. And again, that's on my Stamp Crazy VIP page on Facebook that you can get that. Okay, here's my sample for my card, Bokeh Stamping. Bokeh came from a photography word where they have, when they do their backgrounds, they have these little white areas that just kind of splash in the background. I hope you can see these on the video here. In fact, I'm going to pull this up on my iPad to make sure that I can see it. Let me turn my iPad down before I do that. Okay, here we go. So anyway, you can see the little white in the background back there. Just makes a nice different texture to your background. Here's another one that I did with a different stamp set. This is Comfort and Hope in our new catalog. And the colors I used on it are Just Jade, Bumblebee, and Misty Moonlight. The sample card that I'm going to be showing today is Soft Sea Foam, Just Jade, and Pretty Peacock, and the Forever Fern stamp set. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that so that you can see what I'm doing. So first of all, I'm going to bring out a scrap piece of paper. It's got my little white dots on it. In fact, I'm going to turn it over to the nasty part where I'm going to be doing my background. So I'm going to bring in my piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to start with my lightest color first, which is Soft Sea Foam. So I'm going to add some color, and I start off on my page and just add color. And I love these brushes. I know that Stampin' Up! Does not carry these. I got mine off of Amazon. But they just blend perfect onto your cardstock. I'm heavy-handed, so the sponges, I tend to get little spongy marks and stuff, and this I can do just a little bit better, and I enjoy it so much. So that is why I'm using this. So I'm just going to clean my brush out at this point with my color. And you can see the green up there on the, there we go. Now, usually I don't use another brush, but I am because I'm going to come back to this soft sea foam in just a little bit. And I want to keep that brush nice and clean. I am going to take my next brush. I'm going to pull out just Jade. It's the next lightest color, or the in-between color. We can call it that too. And I'm going to go into some open areas. And I'm just going to add some of this just Jade. These colors, Stampin' Up! Brought out a suite for this Forever Fern set, which has the designer papers to match. It has a couple of embossing folders to go with it, and just a lot of different stuff. And on the DSP, it tells you what colors, you know, coordinate with that. So I took 3 of the colors off of the back of that and put them together. And did that. I think that's enough of my just Jade for now. Now I'm going to come in with my Pretty Peacock. Now I am going to make sure that I've got this brush kind of clean so I can dip into the Pretty Peacock. It is a really vibrant color. I'm going to start off and just brush lightly up here. That one I got dark, didn't I? Rubbed too long in one spot, but that's okay. My other cards are like that too. And there's no wrong or right way for this. Oh, it kind of looks like a tornado. But anyway, I'm just adding color. I want to make sure that I don't have any white showing through. Is what I basically am trying to get to. Because I just want that to be darker. And there we go. Okay. I'm going to clean my brush out of that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my soft sea foam one more time. And I like to take this after I'm done putting all my color on there. I just dip into that lightly. And then I just swirl that all over my paper. And it kind of blends the edges all together. It makes it a little softer looking, I think. So I'm going to try to get that just a little bit darker right in there. As you can see, I've got ink all over my fingers from this morning, but that's okay. Okay, there's my background so far. Now what I'm going to do is do the bokeh part. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my removable adhesive that I have, and I'm going to just go ahead and put these down because I don't want them to move on me while I'm doing my next step. It's just easier this way. And I have made 2 templates, and what I did was I took circle punches. Actually, I've had these made for years. This is on a 4x6 piece of cardstock, and I just cut circles out so that you could lay that over your mask. You have plenty of room if that's what you want to use. I also made a smaller one out of acetate, and this one you can just wash off when you're done. I used that one on my card earlier, so I think I'm going to use the bigger one this time. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay that over my card, and I'm going to take the washi tape And this you don't have to do. You can hold it down yourself, which is what I do a lot of times, but if I can find the end of my washi tape again. That wasn't good. I let it fall down. There we go. But you want to, it's easier to kind of hold it down with some tape. That way you don't have to hold it in so many spots while you're doing this. Just don't get it in on your card area. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a white brush that I've been using with white, and I'm going to use my Stampin' pad, my Craft Whisper White Stampin' pad, and I'm just going to get a little bit of ink on there and then wipe it off because it really goes a long way. And I'm just going to start filling in my circles, and this is going to give me what I need. And you don't want them real dark. You want them to be able to just be a hint back there, just to give you a subtle background. And you can make your templates in that any size you want. You know, if you want to do them bigger so that you can just do it all at one time and then cut your paper up into pieces, your cardstock. It's just whatever you want to do. This is an old technique. You know, like I said, I taught it years ago and just happened to come across my templates when I was doing some cleaning and thought, well, why not? We can do that again. It's nice to bring old stuff back. So when I lift that up, let's lift all these layers. Whew, there we go. Let's remove this out of the way. I'm going to turn this over now. But you can see my circles on there. Looks much better when we get it stamped, but you can see the circles. I'm going to turn that over real quick and just kind of get the any wet ink that's going to be on there from the circles, but I think it's all pretty dry. Okay, now we're going to do our stamping part of the technique. I'm actually going to do my card this way. I want it to be portrait style. And I didn't use black, I used basic gray because I wanted it to all be a really subtle, soft looking card. So I'm going to stamp, and I'm using my Forever Fern stamp, which is this one right here. I'm using this leaf and this leaf. Earlier I used this saying, but I'm going to use a sympathy saying, I think, because I need to make a sympathy card. So anyway, we're going to start with our basic gray. And we're just going to kind of stamp randomly. Okay, that's enough for that stamp, and I'm going to bring in the smaller stamp. And then I'm just going to add some leaves to fill in these areas. And there we go, that's our leaves, if I can say that right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out a sympathy stamp, and I think I'm going to take that from, if I can get, these cling stamps really do cling very well. I'm going to use with sympathy out of the Peaceful Moments set. It says with deepest sympathy. And I'm going to put that on this block. Let's do a trial run. I haven't stamped it. Okay, and I'm going to put that right here. Let that soak into the paper. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, I forgot that I really wanted to, on my inside of my card, we're going to go ahead and put it together. This is basically the technique, and it's done. As you can see the white, or the dots in back there, and they'll be a little bit white. Everything, the stamping will dry a little lighter, so it'll show up white. Very pretty, very subtle. I'm going to bring this back in for a second, and use my leaf stamp for the inside of my card. I'm going to get my basic gray back out. And I'm just going to put a leaf in this lower corner like that for the inside of my card. I have ink all over me, girls. Do you all get ink on you when you stamp a lot? I do. I don't know if I'm a messy stamper or a creative stamper. I would like to think the second one, but I think I'm more the first sometimes. Okay, I'm going to fold over. I'm using basic gray as my card base. And I'm going to go ahead and put the inside in. And I'm using my Tombow liquid glue to do that. So we're going to add that to the inside. And I love this soft sea foam next to this gray. I just think it gives it such a nice look. Okay, let's close our card, but there's the card base inside. And now we're going to shut our card. And I'm going to take another piece of soft sea foam, and that's going to be my background mat on my card. That's going to go on this part of the card. Then I'm going to add a piece of Pretty Peacock, and all the measurements are on my PDF that is on my Stamp Crazy VIP page on Facebook. I put all of the measurements of everything that I used, colors, measurements, and everything there. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to put our technique layer down. This is such a fun technique, and you can use it with any kind of stamps, any colors. You know, you could come up with a million different color combinations for this, which is great. So we're just going to put that down. Whoa. We're going to try not to have it move on us like that. But it did. It wanted to shift really fast. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and add some of these metallic pearls just to give it a little accent. Love my Pick Me tool for this. It's great. And I think I'll go back down here. Okay. So there's the card I made with the Bokeh Stamping Technique. And like I said, you know, make you a template using punches or dies, and just make it a little bit bigger than your pieces of cardstock that you may use. This piece that I used was 5 by 3 3/4, and so both my templates are just a little bit bigger than that to be able to use. As you can see, I used some bigger circles on this one, kept it mostly bigger. This one has a little bit of both. So, and I alternate which circle things that I'm using with doing this. So that is my technique today. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll be back soon with another one. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.